What should our fundraising message focus on? Need or impact? Drop it in the chat. What do you think is the answer? Need or impact? Which one? Which one? Let's see. Somebody be brave. Put it in the chat. What do we think? Come on. Impact. Love it. Thank you. Impact. I'm seeing a couple impacts. Do I have any need? Do I have any? Both. Spoiler alert. We have a winner here. Let's move on into that next slide. I think it was a little bit of a trick question. It's not a what is more important, it's a and both answer. So thank you for being brave and interacting with me. So I know you're actually out there listening. Very, very good to Carla. Thank you so much for putting that out there. Both, but a little bit more, right? Even then, those two pieces alone are probably not enough if we want our message to be truly impactful and effective. So, next slide, please, Trish. Today, we are going to really look at a three-part combination to help us draft a more compelling fundraising message. So, it is important to start with need. Yes, need is an important thing, right? Just because I want more isn't a great way to convey our message, right? We have to demonstrate need. Starting with need and then moving into evidence or the difference that is made, the impact, right? And then hopefully we are closing with a results-oriented communication, right? So in this session, we're going to walk through how to articulate each of these three parts, and we're going to illustrate it with an example. And by the end, you're also going to get a little bit of a discussion on some research findings that can help you segment these messages for the optimal maximum effectiveness. So I'm going to hand it over to Michaela to unpack this for us.
Thank you, Marty. Let's just dive right in. So we know we need multiple elements to a strong fundraising message, and we're going to start with the need. Why is this essential? Here's an example. Marty said we'll use an example throughout this session, and we'll keep coming back. Students are failing and need academic support. That's our need. It is about the mission. It's not necessarily about what you need internally. It creates a sense of urgency when you articulate the need. It also helps the donor identify what problem you're solving in partnership together. So it's a pairing between the donor and your organization to address the need. Next slide, please, Trish. Then we're going to talk about impact. This is often one of the most misunderstood ideas in fundraising, and we're going to really go into this in a little bit. Even though nonprofits use this word impact ad nauseum, I find myself using it all the time, writing it down all the time. There's an opportunity for us to really clarify what impact is in our messaging. Here's an example of what I mean by this. With the help of donor-supported tutors, 78% of children in the program advanced one reading level. This statement focuses on evidence and outcome. That we all know that's what we mean when we say impact, but it's really useful to be specific and help illustrate that for your donor or prospect. There are other benefits to incorporating impact language into your fundraising message. They show that your organization is effective. Look at the progress. Look at the outcomes that this organization has had with this program. It also helps show the importance of the donor's role in the solution, right? So we outline in this particular impact statement that donor-supported tutors are what make this possible. This is your chance to really clarify what change you're going to accomplish or what change you see with your donor. Later, Jenna is going to go through some research on which donor segments really respond the most to impact language, but it should be incorporated at some level in every one of your fundraising communications. Okay, next slide, please. And then the third component or communication. And the truth is that most organizations omit this in their messages, which is an opportunity for you all to stand out. Here's what we mean by a results-oriented communication. The knowledge students gain through this program helps them succeed not only in reading, but in every subject. It prepares them for success in school and in the workplace, which can lead to more fulfilling lives and a stronger workforce. A results-oriented communication is what helps you communicate your vision and long-term hopes and strategies at your organization. It's inspiring. You have that impact statement right before it that gives something very evidence-based and time-bound. And then you have this visionary close, your results-oriented communication. It describes how your organization is working to change the status quo and also helps articulate to your donors why they should prioritize your organization and invest in this specific project or program that you're asking them to partner in. All right, let's put them all together now. Next slide, please. Students are failing and need academic support, but thanks to the help of donor-supported tutors, 78% of children in our program advanced one reading level last year. The knowledge students gain through this program helps them succeed not only in reading, but in every subject. It prepares them for success in school and the workplace, which can lead to more fulfilling lives and a stronger workforce. When you package them all together, you're going to meet that beautiful equation of touching those that are emotional or altruistic givers and those that are very data driven. And then we end it with this aspirational piece, what we're going to accomplish together for years to come in the future. You'll see at the very end, this is when you plug in your call to action. So join us in our goal of changing the lives of 100% of our students. There's going to be an ask component to this message. Or maybe the intention behind your message is stewardship. Maybe you're thanking the donors in that line for their partnership in this effort. So now that we've gone through these three components, the need, impact or change that they're going to see, and then the results-oriented communication, our team really would like to help you all out in avoiding some common pitfalls or mistakes. So let's start with the need and what we most often see leaving room for improved execution. So being very careful when you start with your need statement that you are focused on the community or on your mission and vision. Your need statement must or should align with that. It's true, you might need to fix some internal operational gaps and that you are fundraising and a portion of that fundraising total is going to go and help you operate more efficiently as an organization. But your donor population or your prospect population is far more interested in understanding what need you are meeting in the community. Why do you even exist as a nonprofit? Focus on the purpose of your work, not on how the organization runs. Okay, next slide, please. So I already kind of hinted that we're going to talk a little bit deeper about this word impact. It can really be an internal word. It seems so clear to us as fundraisers. We use it all the time. We know what impact is. It's what drives us every morning when we wake up and go to work. We want to make an impact in this world. Our donors are a little confused by it. And so I'm going to outline some of the findings. The Better Business Bureau, Wise Giving Alliance, included a survey in their 2021 impact report that really dug into exactly this. In this survey, only 53% of donors felt that they could tackle articulating what impact means when a nonprofit uses this word. So that's insightful. We would prefer to have more than half of our donors really understanding what we mean when we use this word impact. And it gets a little more enlightening when we dig down even deeper into that 53%. So of that 53%, that were brave and decided, I feel like I could maybe tackle articulating what this nonprofit means when they say impact. They did not necessarily articulate that impact was aligned with outcomes or measurable change. Instead, these 53% of donors articulated things such as program quality or efficient nonprofit spending, both of which are great. Like, we want both of these things. We want high program quality and efficient spending, but I'm pretty sure that's not what the nonprofit was intending when they used that word impact, right? They're thinking of the outcomes that their programs are bringing into the world. So the great news is that we all get to take away a lesson from this and really work to spell out explicitly what impact is. Here's one way that you could do this. So I told you at the get-go that I use this word all the time when I'm writing, and impact, leaves the end of my pen. Cross it on out and replace that word with something very specific and evidence-based. Let's go back to the example that we've been using today. So, a great impact statement: donor-supported tutors helped these 78% of program participants increase their rating level. But what we might see at a different organization that hasn't come to a Pride virtual forum, you might say donors make an impact on reading levels. And that's true, but it's not as clear or compelling as an explicit impact statement. Okay, so then the last one, the results-oriented communication. Let's talk about some common pitfalls. Really, the common pitfall is that it's often omitted. It's this piece that we don't always think to include. So our challenge to you is be thoughtful when you're crafting your message to add at the very end something visionary and exciting, and it's truthful. It's your hope and dream for what you want to see change, right? It's this ending piece that help set you up for a long-term partnership with a donor. Your impact statement is what tells them what solution you're working towards in this moment in time, and your results-oriented communication is what helps them put it into context and understand how this is going to change lives or change careers in the case of these students that we use in our example today. So we've talked about the importance of including need, impact, and results-oriented communications. We've gone through some examples. We've talked about some common pitfalls. Now Jenna's going to walk us through some research in how to be thoughtful about our donor segments in integrating these three components.
Thank you so much, Michaela. You guys, this is a really important topic. And whether you are the communications professional for your organization or you are the development person, most often forward facing, representing your organization, I want to ask each of you to take a minute and put in the chat, what is the specific impact that your organization seeks to create in the world? What would you put in place of that very generic nonprofit word? Don't be shy. We love to hear from you guys. What does your organization measure? What do you work towards? And how do you demonstrate the impact of the very important work that you all do? I see some wheels turning. I see some people deep in thought. Okay. I would, yes, excellence in environmental education and conservancy. Conservancy? I said that weird. Thank you. Yes, full life care for all at no cost. That's exciting. You guys, this is really step one in how we're going to communicate what it is that a donor can do through giving to our organization, right? I'd love to see you guys continue to pop in, think about how you define impact for your organization, because I want you guys to leave here with some tangible pieces that you can really implement immediately. Michaela, I think, knows that I am an annual giving nerd. I spent a lot of time in higher ed advancement, specifically focused on our annual giving program. And so I have done some A/B testing in our mail and email appeals over the years and love to encourage that clients consider this in simple ways as they are optimizing their fundraising efforts. Here's what's really interesting about the study that we're looking at today. So this study was conducted through the National Bureau of Economic Research. They basically looked at two segments or two groups in this direct mail messaging. Both of the groups received the same core content. The bulk of the messaging was identical. One of those groups also received very specific scientific evidence that was embedded within the messaging. One group had that, omitted. So it was just the general letter and language. What they found was that there was a minimal, if any, statistical difference between whether Group A or Group B chose to donate in response to the language that was used. What they did find that I think is really the most interesting part of this is how we can better refine our segments and how we can better refine the messaging targeting those particular donor populations. So they found that prior donors who had made large gifts, and large is relative to each of the organizations that we work with, right? So they found that prior large donors actually gave a higher gift when they received the evidence-based messaging. So this is a committed donor that has already made previous gifts to our organization at a significant level. That donor generally responded more positively and increased their gift to the organization in response to that specific scientific and evidence-based language. Donors who had previously given at a smaller, maybe an annual gift or kind of entry gift level, actually gave less in response to the scientific evidence-based messaging. So what does that tell us about these two distinct populations of donors? Trish, let's go to the next slide. What this really shows us, what this means in this example, is that larger donors are often a little more altruistic. They tend to respond more positively to science-based or evidence-based messaging of impact. They want to see specific numbers. They want to see that you've increased your impact in the community, again, in specific ways. They want to see the growth of your organization or that you've decreased that target need that you're working to support or solve, right? The warm glow donors, I like that. That's a little nicer than like mid-level, right? Warm glow donors tended to respond better, more positively to those emotional triggers. They were much more compelled by the storytelling, by the language of the general messaging and appeal. So I want you to think about how you can better segment your language. Can you currently segment your database and your email lists? If not, let's talk about some tools and tips to make that easier for your team. And then I want you to think about how we're tailoring the messaging. You guys, this is what we do when we're in a one-on-one major gift conversation. And we can replicate this at the mid-level and even annual gift level. We just have to think on a mass communication scale, right? How can we tailor the messaging so that our larger donors are receiving the important need, impact, results-oriented language so that we can put ourselves in a stronger position to continually increase and renew their contributions to our organization. Segmentation, segmentation. Customized language is really key. Again, you wouldn't take the same major gift proposal to Jared that you would bring to me because we are motivated by different things. We have different passions and interests. You probably wouldn't want to email us the same appeal either. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. So, we want you to leave this session, and I want you thinking about your organization's unique need. What is the gap that you are filling in your community? And what is the scale and scope of that need, right? This is where you pull from your associations, from your national data and statistics. You look at your state and county specific demographics. And you demonstrate this is the need, right? This is the hole that we are filling. Then you talk about your specific impact. Through our donor funded tutors, we are specifically impacting this percentage of that need within our service area or within our county. And then we are going to be able to show you our results oriented details, right? How are we making an impact, decreasing that need, and really delivering new and better outcomes to our community? The need should absolutely connect directly to your mission. I want to underscore, I think, what Michaela mentioned earlier. Your need may be to hire more staff. Your need may be to get a new software system, right? But that is not compelling and exciting messaging. And so we need to get really comfortable talking about the way that our operational structure and capacity and our staff are mission delivery, right? How are these operational things equating to the exciting results oriented outcomes that we are all seeking in our community? Never, ever, ever just use generic impact, right? We talked earlier this week with a group about fundraising events, and I would say the same thing stands. If I could walk into this event, if I could open your mail appeal, and if your logo or your signage wasn't there, would I even know what organization this is from? Is it all generic nonprofit speak? Or is it specific and intentional and detailed? That's what I'm looking for when I decide to commit or renew or increase my gift to any organization. I want to know specifically who you are and how you accomplish your goals in the world. Remember that your results oriented communication is intended to connect donors directly to your vision for the future. This is not to say we've solved all the problems of the world, but this is to say we have a strong vision to do X in a big, big way, and we need you to join us to make that possible. If you haven't already, I hope you will take a minute and throw in the chat what is your specific vision for impact? How do you measure it? I want you guys to go back and think about, do your donors understand what impact means? Does your board understand what impact means at your organization? Those are some important conversations that you need to be pushing forward. And we are excited to help you guys navigate those challenges as much as we can. I think we will kick it back to Marty to wrap us up. If we have any questions or further comments, we love to hear from you.
Thank you, Jenna. Questions? Anyone? Questions, comments? Drop it in the chat. Unmute yourself. Now is your moment, guys. We're so excited you joined us. Surely we didn't cover everything. Surely you have a thought. No? Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy week to join us on this Friday. I'll draw your attention to the next couple slides. If you would like to chat with a member of our team, we are happy to set up a time to talk through your needs and see if we can help you any further. If you're not already part of our family, we would love to discuss your needs with you.